Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, they jockey to win over the Dems' most extremist left-wing supporters, with, of course, the biggest donors, the media mob. Bernie Sanders has gotten into the business of name-calling. Let's take a look.
Elizabeth Warren has been a friend of mine for some 25 years, and I think she is a very, very good senator. But there are differences between Elizabeth and myself. Elizabeth, I think, as you know, has said that she is a capitalist through her bones. I'm not. And I think business as usual and doing it the old-fashioned way is not good enough. It's not regulation now. What we need is, in fact, I don't want to get people too nervous, we need a political revolution. I am, I believe, the only candidate who's going to say to the ruling class of this country, the corporate elite, enough with your greed and with your corruption. We need real change in this country.
And a 97.5% tax on some Americans. That's full confiscation. We'll just legalize outright stealing. Wow. By the way, capitalists, oh boy, that's scary. They're the ones that invest and create jobs. I've been working for a lot of people in my life. I never got a job from anybody who was poor. But you know what? Everybody that I know that invests money and puts it at risk and creates goods and services, they create jobs for other Americans. And you know what? If we tapped into our energy resources, you would watch the standard of living of every American rise in a way that you can't even imagine. So Bernie's backing up his socialist credentials with an extremist plan that economists say may tax people in this country a whopping 97.5%. But so-called capitalist rival Elizabeth Warren doesn't seem to be able to answer the simple question. If she's going to have to raise taxes on the middle class, and amid all this 2020 chaos, even a billionaire, former New York City mayor, the guy that ran the nanny state in New York, nice guy, but I want to buy a big gulp, I ought to be allowed. I ought to have salt on the table. Anyway, he's now tempted to jump into the fray. Here now, reaction. Fox News contributor Tammy Bruce, Fox and Friends weekend co-host Pete Hegseth. Good to see you both. Tammy, we'll start with you. The interesting thing is, you know, there's the one issue they want to get rid of Trump. They're willing to lie and do anything and everything to do that and coordinate even messages with the Democratic Party. But then they're supporting this in exchange. Now, I know there's other stuff coming out as it relates to CNN this week, because I'm an investigative reporter as part of being a talk show host. And my question to you is, this will destroy the country we know. I don't see how America survives the new Green Deal at $94 trillion and Medicare for all with no private insurance option at $36 trillion, and that's just the estimates.
Well, you're correct. And all of the thing that all these issues have in common is a disdain for the American people, is a contempt for our ability to understand our own lives, to make our own decisions, to realize what freedom really is, that we can be trusted with freedom, that we are decent people, that we in fact make better decisions than government. All of these decisions. Socialism is an old, dead, tired idea. It is nothing new, and it has always failed. There has never been success. There's always had to be some kind of shoring up or some kind of fraud that goes on when it comes to the nature of any kind of vague socialism working. We see it, of course, former Soviet Union, Cuba, Venezuela. Wherever it's tried, it's failed. And as a result, they're still addicted to this notion that they are better than us, that they are the ones who can make the decisions, that we can't, that we are too dumb to know that we can't trust ourselves. And so they are addicted to this notion of being our superiors, to controlling our money, and to proving to themselves as a result with central planning, massive government, taking all of our money, ending the normal sense of personal freedom, because, of course, they just don't like us. We see that in the left in their attack on President Trump. He is reviled because he likes us. He likes this country. He wants it to do well. That is why he is the threat that he is.
70% top marginal rate for individuals, Pete, 90% for corporations. We're going to add a wealth tax to that. If you save money after they take 60 cents of every dollar, they're going to come back for more. And then when you die, they'll take another 40%, the death tax. Legalize stealing to me, and it is going to destroy any incentive. And then the numbers don't add up, as I was pointing out to Tammy.
Yeah, I can barely add anything to what Tammy had to say. She's absolutely spot on.
Okay, we're done, folks.
Bernie Sanders is he's on his way out of the presidential campaign. Everyone has become Bernie. Everyone has become a socialist. He's the one that owns the label. So on his way out with his campaign on figurative life support, he's saying, "I was the real socialist before the whole Democrat Party became socialist." Yet if Elizabeth Warren is not a socialist, then I'm an astronaut, okay? Because everything Elizabeth Warren is calling for has the hallmarks of socialism. Yes, she understands that still the American people understand in their gut that we are not a collectivist society where we take from the rich exclusively to redistribute, because that does not work. Yet Green New Deal, Medicare for all, and you made a great point about how